Hey guys, this is Keisha Mountain, and I hope everybody's day is going well, just as well as mine. Today we have a special guest by the name of Kaba Kaba, and he teaches holistic health. As you guys know, I like to shed light on spirituality, mental well-being, and emotional health. However, holistic health goes hand in hand with the various topics that I like to discuss. Today we have a very interesting topic to discuss from a very knowledgeable person that brings awareness and advice to our community. And he's also a very great friend. So without further ado, here's Kaba Kaba.
Thank you. So like Markeisha stated earlier, my name is Kaba Kaba, and I'm a holistic advisor, holistic teacher, and I teach about holistic health and various topics pertaining to health. And today's topic is very, very serious. Today, my job is to bring awareness and advisory to what a holistic health, a holistic environment, and the plant-based diet consists of. Because we're in a crisis right now, and globally, people are dying all over the place. And I truly feel like a vegan diet is what's best for us. So today I will be bringing information pertaining to the article and also additional information pertaining to holistic health.
Okay, great. Now, how long have you been vegan?
How long I've been vegan? Well, I've been vegan for 3 years, and I just really been teaching for a total of 5 years. So ever since 2014, I've been on this journey, and it's been a very good one. It's been very pleasant to me. So vegan for 3 years strong, and that means no meat at all, not even fish or any of that, because a lot of people tend to ask you, oh well, if you don't eat meat, do you eat fish? Like as if it's not a part of it, but it is. So to really understand it, to really break it down, I don't eat anything that has eyes in the head, okay, in the mouth, and that's just what it is.
You start.
What made me start?
Yeah.
Well, pretty much what made me start was I was dealing with a situation in my 20s, in my early 20s, and I had an incident that really caused me to have an anxiety attack. All right, I had an anxiety attack, and I won't talk too much on it. Let's just say it was a very severe incident that allowed me to catch an anxiety attack, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. So I would try different techniques over the years, and it started working. But one of the things that I noticed was when I started working out, I said, okay, well, I got one part of it down packed, so let me see if I can insert something else. And that's when I started changing on my diet. So I went away from fried foods and processed foods, and I started, cooking more, and I was doing baked foods, right? Putting things in the oven, stuff like that. And I was stir frying, things of that nature. And I noticed that was changing. But I was like, I'm not done. Like I started seeing results, but I wanted more, I wanted more results. So I took it a step further, and I just started cutting out everything. Now the toughest thing was, it was chicken. That was the tough thing to get, to get by. I want to be able to break the generational curse of us dying early and from illnesses that I really feel like we can reverse and change just by changing our diets and things of that nature. So me dealing with my own depression and anxiety, high blood pressure at a young age, and also being pre-diabetic was what really triggered it, along with, my parents and my siblings, losing their lives at an early age from different illnesses and stuff like that. So that's what really got me to this point.
So what we're here to talk about, there's an article going around stating that vegans are in higher risk of strokes than meat eaters. So I want you to elaborate more on that article.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting article. But what I would say is this: a lot of these articles that they put out, they're clickbait. That's basically what they are. And I am. And when you start going away from eating meat and dairy products and things of that nature, you have these big industries who's been around for a long time that really don't want to see that happen. They don't want to see that change because it impacts them in so many different ways. All right, because a lot of things are just about money. It's about greed. That's what it is. So I'm like, okay, well, this is just another another article that just want to scare us away from a healthier lifestyle, healthier choices, wiser choices, and things of that nature. So what I would say is this. First of all, we got to really identify the different strokes, because a lot of people don't really understand that there's two different strokes. There's actually three, but two in particular. And the two is what they call hemorrhagic and ischemic. Okay, ischemic stroke is mainly when you have the arteries, clogged up, and the plaque builds up, okay, from animal protein, animal flesh, and also dairy products and processed foods, okay. So 87% of that will be reasonable. It will make sense because of the simple fact that most people in America, they eat an animal-based diet, okay. They eat dairy foods and they eat processed foods, so that would make sense. Now, when it comes to the hemorrhagic, what those strokes are is when a weakened blood vessel inside the brain, it tears or it rips, okay, and the blood starts to leak inside the brain, and it immediately starts to kill the cells in the brain. So that right there would cause a stroke as well. But remember, the percentage is only 13%. That's because it's not necessarily caused by the cholesterol, the plaque that's built up in the arteries. Those cases are more so of, the diets and things of that nature. We don't really understand what it is to eat a plant-based diet.
So do you believe that the lifestyle contributes to the risk?
Yes, the lifestyle does contribute to the risk of the strokes being higher. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Now, when you eat a plant-based diet, you have to understand this. You have a variety of choices, okay? You're talking about people lifestyles. When you are a vegan and a vegetarian or a pescatarian, that doesn't necessarily exclude you from a very wild lifestyle. And what do I mean by that? Most pescatarians, okay, they just feel like, well, since I don't eat meat, that I can do everything else. So most of them will indulge in a lifestyle that still does what? They still smoke, they still drink, they still club out, they go out, they do all sorts of different things. And that right there can wreak havoc, okay, on your health, okay? So the study has to be showing and talking about the lifestyle and not just the diet, because the diet alone would not enhance the risk of a stroke, okay?
Mind, body, and soul.
Exactly. So it's mind, body, and soul. So
state that vegetarians don't get enough nutrients, and as far as the B12, the choline. Thank you. Okay, as far as the B12, the iron, the choline. So, what's your take on that?
Okay, so you say B12, iron, and the choline. Okay, so B12, iron, and choline. I'm very familiar with B12, iron, and choline. Now, see, that's very interesting because again, it's not basically the diets, okay? It's not basically the diet that plays a role in the enhancement or the higher risk of the strokes. You got other factors like, what she just said, which is the B12 and the choline and also the iron. Now, the study had to be a while ago. Okay, when it comes to B12 is a bacteria that's found in the soil. Now, being that Monsanto has took control over the farming industry and so many different things, when they put one particular chemical down, which they call the Ready Roundup, okay, glyphosate, which has been proven, okay, to be carcinogenic, okay, which means that it can cause cancer. And I would go even further to say that it does cause cancer, because we have a case that a man actually won, because him being exposed to the glyphosate for so many years, okay, he actually got cancer from it. People don't know. So the glyphosate, the Ready Roundup, they put this chemical down, okay? And what it does is it builds a resistance for the crops. So that means that the crop would be resistant from anything that comes into its growth process. So any pest, all right, any weed, anything, it would kill it except the plant. So the plant will actually thrive, but everything around it that may cause harm or damage it won't thrive. Pigs in this in this topic, if the pigs are being raised in factories, how they getting the vitamin B12? They're giving it to them, okay? They're supplementing the vitamin B12 inside the pigs, okay? They're fortified. So that's how they're getting it. So to say that vegans are at a higher chance of getting a stroke because the deficient of the vitamin B12, yo, it's the same thing for meat eaters and everybody, all right?
So how do they get it? How do the plant-based lifestyle people?
So when you talking about vitamin B12, the way you get it primarily is through sea vegetables, okay? Mm-hmm. And I will name a couple of them. Marine phytoplankton. That's one of the it's not a herb, it's a microalgae, okay? It's a microalgae, and it comes from the ocean. And the phytoplankton, oh my God, is loaded with so many things, okay? But vitamin B12, you don't really need that much of vitamin B12 in the first place. Like, you need 4 to like 8 milligrams, okay? Not only the B12, you gotta remember, iron comes from the soil as well, all right? The iron comes from the soil as well, and iron is also found in rocks and plants, okay? So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a deficient when it comes to the soil. That's also been proven as well, that we're dealing with major mineral deficient in the soil because of these practices like the glyphosate, the Ready Roundup. So the B12 is not found as how it used to be before these practices came into place, before Monsanto took over so many acres of land. Now the iron is very interesting. Like I stated earlier, you get it from the ground, and you also get it from rocks and plants and things of that nature. Now, you get the iron from the dark leafy greens, you get the irons from the sea vegetables, you get the iron from the herbs, the teas. When that is coupled with vitamin C, which you will find in what? Fruits, right? Mm-hmm. You will find vitamin C in fruits. Pineapples have a lot of vitamin C. Oranges have a lot of vitamin C. And you could go down a list of fruits that have a lot of vitamin C. Now, it's a study, okay, that's been statistically proven, okay, that once you couple iron with vitamin C, once you bring those together, it increases your iron absorption to like 200 and something percent. All right? Don't quote me on it. You could go fact check me, but I know it's within that range. So right then and there, if you eat strictly, okay, 100% plant-based diet and those variety of choices of foods when I listed, I named, by default, you already getting enough iron that you need. You know, easily. And then last but not least, the choline. All right, choline, they say that might have something to do with the increased risk of the stroke in vegans and vegans and vegetarians and things of that nature. Now, when I did my research on the choline, it's everywhere. Like, I really don't have much to say on that, because when you go do the research, you're gonna see the choline is everywhere. Like, literally, you eat greens, again, a plant-based, 100% plant-based diet. All right, that's a variety of different foods. You're gonna get the choline. You're gonna get the choline. So there you have it. If the article states that these particular nutrients or vitamins or minerals play a role in the chances of strokes being higher and greater within vegans, I just laid it down. You can get it. So it's nothing to be scared of. It's nothing to be afraid of. A plant-based diet is the way to go.
Or nutrients that you use.
Well, I'm big on the sea vegetables. I'm big on sea vegetables. In particular, you got the sea moss. They got the 92 minerals. Mm-hmm. And that's very big because the body is composed of 102. So if you get 92 minerals from a sea vegetable, in particular sea moss and algae, come on, man. It don't get no better than that. Chlorella is real, real big too. It's one of my many supplements that I take because of the simple fact that chlorella has a lot of protein, and it's a complete protein, meaning that it has all 9 of the essential amino acids that the body cannot make, okay? But once the body get it from food, everything else, all the other ones, they combine together and do their job, okay? You got, I don't really do spirulina because it's a cyanobacteria, and I'm more of a, like, I want to look for things that, like plants, okay? Because plants holds the energy of the sun through photosynthesis, and that's what converts the nutrients and things of that nature, and that's how we get it. So, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to shift this shit. I'm here to shift the paradigm, okay? That's what I'm here to do, you know?
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
killed it, you know?
So,
killed it.
how can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Alkaline Environment.
We'll put it in the description. What will be your Facebook page name?
Well, Facebook, you can find me as Instagram also. So, Facebook, Kaba, because I did say it backwards. And Instagram would be G-Reed, G, okay, dot, Reed, R, and 2 3s, and then the D, and that's Instagram. Also, you got Alkaline Environment. That's all together in one word, Alkaline Environment, and that's on Facebook and also on Instagram, and that's how you can find me.
And through your Alkaline Environment, I heard that you do juices, right?
Yeah, I do juices. So basically, what I'm doing now, I'm pushing a detox. I got some sea moss, and we mix it. We mix it with bladderwrack, the same way Dr. Sebi used to do it. A lot of companies don't do it like that, and it's okay. But Dr. Sebi always said that, being that the sea moss has the 92 minerals, it need a spark. And with the bladderwrack, you get the iron, and iron is the spark. So when you combine the bladderwrack with the sea moss, that is what gives the spark to the minerals. Because remember, minerals are electrical. They're electrons. That's what they are, right? They have a certain percentage of voltage. So when you put iron with that, that initiates that spark, right? That gets those volts to, do their job. So the body is electrical,